Hey y'all, welcome back to the cookie jar. Today we're doing the 5th cookie recipe from the Sugar Cookie Murder. They are called Blueberry Shortbread Bar Cookies. It's going to be this page as well as this page. What you're going to need is we are baking right away, so you're going to preheat the oven to 350. The first note on this says this is Betty Jackson's recipe. She says to tell you they're the best bar cookie to eat if you're on a diet because they have only 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. That's true, but she's forgetting about all the sugar in the can of pie filling. Yeah, so then it just moves on to the ingredients, which you're going to need 3 cups of flour, no need to sift, 1.5 cups softened butter, 3 sticks, 3/4 pound, 3/4 cup powdered confectioner sugar, don't sift unless it's got big lumps, 1 can, 21 ounces blueberry pie filling. So the first thing you're doing is you're putting the creamed butter and the powdered sugar, and then you're adding the flour. It says you can also do this in a food processor using cold butter cut into chunks and the steel blade. It says spread half this mixture, approximately 3.5 cups, into a greased 9x13-inch pan. That's a standard size rectangular cake pan. And then you're going to bake that off, bring it out, let it cool for 5 minutes, spread the blueberry pie filling, and then sprinkle with the other half of the crust mixture you reserved and gently press it down with a metal spatula. That does not seem like it's going to work out the way it sounds, because blueberry pie filling is wet. And whatever crumbly, crusty stuff this is going to make, pushing it down is just going to push it into the blueberry pie filling. It's not going to smooth it out. Or you push. Ugh. See, this is where pictures or more detailed explanations would come in handy. Is it supposed to be pushed into the blueberry pie filling, or are you just flattening it out? And then you're going to bake that off for 30 to 35 minutes, let it cool, and then cut into brownie-sized bars. So everything is all laid out in the kitchen. Let's get in there and get finagling, I guess. Here is everything that is listed in the recipe today. It's only 4 things, so we'll see what we end up with. Okay, so the first step is mixing the 3 sticks of butter, which is these. And the 3/4 cups of powdered sugar. So I think that finally did what we wanted. Add flour. That is the 3 cups of flour. Up. Now it says you're supposed to put 3.5 cups about into the bowl, the sheet pan, cake pan. It does not look like there's 3.5 cups here. I mean, obviously we put just about 5 cups of stuff in here, but it doesn't look like there's very much. Greased 9x13. Cup measures. It's like really messy Play-Doh. And there is no way there's 3.5 cups of this. There's just no way. I think the last time we did this, we made it with the pecan pie bars. It was something similar, and we ended up saving 1/2 cup to go on top. So I think that is what I'm going to aim for, honestly. I think these are going to go the same way the pumpkin pie bars did. Because there's clearly a miscalculation somewhere, because there is not 3.5 cups to this. There's not. I mean, it might yield 3.5 cups total. There's 2. Spread half this mixture. Yeah. Okay. So they want half of 3.5 cups, which would be a cup, a half, and a quarter. So here's a cup, here's a half, and here is a quarter. And we need to spread this out. And this is pretty sticky. I am wondering what the best way to get this to spread out would be. I'm thinking greasing the bottom of something, one of these measuring cups maybe, and having it pushed down that way, because this is super sticky. Now, you pretty much have to do the exact same thing with the stuff that goes on top of the blueberry pie filling, according to these directions. And I do not, like I said, unless you're pushing it in tiny little broken up bits, I don't see how this is going to work the way they describe. So after getting it as best I could, that's about what we're left with. Now this goes in the 350-degree oven for 15 minutes. So remember, we are not turning the oven off after it comes out. It took closer to 20 minutes to get color and make it look somewhat baked. And then of course it says to let it sit for 5 minutes. Now the next thing it wants is to take the blueberry pie filling and spread it on top. Now it says to sprinkle it with the other half of the crust mixture you reserved and gently press down with a metal spatula. This part thoroughly confuses me. And I don't really get what it wants. Because other than ripping it up, there is no sprinkling. It's essentially... Honestly, it makes me think of a pie crust. That kind of consistency and texture. I'm sure it could also be considered a shortbread crust, or which is in the name, or a soft sugar cookie dough. But the pushing it down, unless your whole goal is to push it into the pie filling, which it might be. I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Is just trying to get the pieces as small and as covered as possible, like we did with the pecan pie bars. But that pushing it down with a spatula thing puts me off. I don't know what to make of that. Here is what we have. Took ages, it feels like. Now this is going to go back in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes, and then it's going to come out and cool completely. So it took the full 35 minutes to bake, and it's been cooling for about an hour. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so here is an up close of it. These are the blueberry shortbread bar cookies. It is a mouthful to say. And they smell like blueberry muffins. I'm not gonna lie, that's what they smell like. They smell like blueberry muffins. It's literally exactly what the name says. If you took a shortbread cookie and topped it with blueberry pie filling, this is what it would taste like. They're still a little warm, and I like it. This is pretty good. It kind of tastes a little bit salty. But I think most bar or shortbread cookies kind of taste that way. It was a little complicated to smooth out the bottom, and it took a really long time to crumble up the top. But overall, It is pretty tasty. It would be something out of the box to add to something. Like, it's not your normal dessert, so it definitely would be something kind of out of the box to take to an event or whatever. Pretty good. I think it's tasty. Is it? Ooh, no. It's not the best thing ever. I think its uniqueness is what it has going the most. But it is good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. It's different. It's just not amazing. The next recipe in the book is the hot brownies that Hannah makes for Mike as a joke. I do not think I would like them at all because I hate jalapenos, and it's basically a box of brownie mix with jalapenos mixed in. So, for the sake of this, I will eat it the tiniest bit possible. And I will give the rest of the pan directly to my husband, who will probably, like Mike, think they're the best brownies ever. No, thank you. So, if you lovelies are interested in seeing, honestly, it's not going to be much of a video. I think the most of the content's going to be my funny faces at the end, forcing myself to eat it. But if you are interested in seeing that, join us next week. I hope you lovelies have a good one. Bye, guys.